Hey sports fans, it was a heartbreaking week for Philly sports. The Union lost in penalty shootouts and the Phillies lost in 6 games in the World Series. At least the Eagles are still undefeated and Temple finally wins one. It had been a wonderful fall for sports fans in Philadelphia. The Eagles are currently 8-0 and the Phillies made the World Series and were 2 home wins away from winning the series against the Astros. Adding the MLS team Philadelphia Union, making the MLS Cup final, and things were looking up for the city of brotherly love. That is, until a disastrous Saturday that will be one Philly sports fans will want to forget. It was a huge day in Philly sports, as both the Union and Phillies would play in championship games, though the Phillies needed to win just to keep their hopes alive. The Union played first, as they took on LAFC in the MLS Cup final, and it was a classic match. The match went to extra time, and the Union took the lead in extra time. Surely they would hold on and claim their first MLS Cup, right? Well, Garth Bale, one of the greatest players of the last decade who has made his way to MLS in the twilight in his career, had other ideas, and tied up the game in the last seconds of overtime. Oh no! But things somehow got worse. In the penalty shootout, the Union missed all 3 of their attempts and lost the cup. And the Phillies topped it off with a loss of their own to give the Astros the World Series. They led 1-0 into the 6th, but this blast by Yordan Alvarez was all the Astros needed. The Astros went on to win 4-1 and won the World Series 4-2. Maybe it's not always sunny in Philadelphia. Claude Giroux scored a milestone goal against his former team, but the Philadelphia Flyers spoiled the celebration with a 2-1 win over the Ottawa Senators Saturday night. Giroux scored the lone goal for the Senators, while Cam Talbot, making his first start for the Senators, made 26 saves. The lead didn't last long as the Flyers evened the score with a power play goal, as Kevin Hayes tipped a Tony DeAngelo shot. The Flyers broke the 1-1 tie with just under 2 minutes remaining in the second period, when Ottawa got hemmed in its own end. Zach McEwen grabbed a loose puck and whisked it past Talbot. Zach McEwen's second period goal held up as the winner, while Kevin Hayes also scored for the Flyers. Carter Hart was solid, stopping 31 shots. Final score, Flyers 2, Senators 1. Good luck to the Philadelphia Flyers in their next game against the Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday. Lts Sj ran for 3 long touchdowns, including a 75-yard to start the second half, and Temple routed South Florida 54-28 in a battle between American Athletic Association teams searching for their first conference win Saturday. The Owls, who led by 2 at intermission, 16-14, topped 50 points in a game for the first time since 2019. Sj, who had 104 yards on 14 carries in the first half, finished with 265 yards on 24 carries. He opened the third quarter with his 75-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage, and added scoring runs of 40 and 27 yards. E.J. Warner completed 27 of 36 passes for 344 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Owls. Camden Price kicked field goals from 32, 34, 32, and 35 yards for Temple. Final score, Temple 54, South Florida 28. Good luck to the Temple Owls in their next game against the Houston Cougars on Saturday. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts threw for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Eagles overcame a slow start to beat the Houston Texans 29-17 on Thursday night. The Texans took an early lead when rookie Tegan Couturiano, who was making his NFL debut, grabbed his first career reception for a 2-yard touchdown on the first series. Philadelphia tied it at 7-all on a 2-yard run by Miles Sanders on 4th down late in the first quarter. Sanders finished with 93 yards rushing. Hurts lost a fumble in a forgettable first half, and so the game was tied at halftime. In the third, Sj Gardner-Johnson grabbed his NFL best and career high 5th interception before Hurts threw a 17-yard touchdown pass to A.J. Brown to give the Eagles the lead to make it 21-14 with about 8 minutes left in the third. Houston cut the lead to 21-17 on a 30-yard field goal by Kamari Fairbairn late in the third. Hurts found Dallas Goedert for a 4-yard touchdown pass on the next drive, and Hurts padded the lead with his 2-point conversion one. The Texans were driving late in the fourth when Davis Mills was intercepted again, this time by James Bradbury, and the Eagles ran out the clock to secure the victory. Final score, Eagles 29, Texans 17. Good luck to the Philadelphia Eagles in their next game against the Washington Commanders on Monday. Last week I went 4-2 in my picks, getting the Eagles, Vikings, Patriots, and Buccaneers right. I missed the 2 upsets with the Bills and Packers. It's week 10 of the NFL season. Which teams will win on Thursday and Sunday? Atlanta Falcons versus Carolina Panthers. The Falcons lost 20-17 to the Chargers. The Panthers lost big 42-21 at Cincinnati. I have the Atlanta Falcons winning in Charlotte. Seattle Seahawks versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Seahawks won 31-21 in Arizona. The Bucs won 16-13 in Tampa. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning in Germany. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Kansas City Chiefs. Doug Peterson versus Andy Reid. The Jags won 27-20 to Las Vegas. The Chiefs won 20-17 to Tennessee. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating Doug Peterson. Minnesota Vikings versus Buffalo Bills. The Vikings won 20-17 at Washington. The Bills lost 20-17 in New Jersey. I have the Minnesota Vikings winning in Buffalo. Dallas Cowboys versus Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys are coming off their bye week. The Packers lost 15-9 at Detroit. Sorry, Cowboys fans, the Packers are going to win in Green Bay. Arizona Cardinals versus Los Angeles Rams. An NFC West showdown. The Cardinals lost 31-21 to Seattle. The Rams lost at Tampa 16-13. I have the Los Angeles Rams winning in Inglewood. Check in next week and we will see how everyone did. And a special thanks to the Phillies and the Union for a wonderful and exciting season. Did you know that every time the Phillies won the World Series, the economy went into a depression? Maybe it was a good thing the Phillies lost. That is a wrap. You can check me out on my podcast at Stefan Sports Radio, or through the podcast app, or this YouTube channel. And you can listen to me on Saturday nights at 6 o'clock on 1360 WNJC in Cherry Hill. Thank you for watching and see you next time on Let's Talk Sports.